Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk Live. We have a crazy episode today as I'm joined by a couple of football players. We also have a couple of field hockey players coming in later on. Well, first I'm joined here with Anthony McCloskey, Rondell White, and Erik Pratt. So let's start off with some football. All right, guys, you're coming off a big win against 6th-ranked Cal this past weekend, 37-34. Do you want to talk about the offensive and defensive game plans going into that game?
From the defensive standpoint, we went in, we know the 6th in the nation, they were going to be very good, and their O-line was huge, and their skill positions are very good. There are a lot of them are D1 transfers, and we knew going in we had to get turnovers and make plays, and defensively we did that.
And then the offense side of the ball?
Offensively, right, like Anthony said, they're ranked number 6 in the nation. Tough team. They were fast, they were big, but the big guys up front, they did it for us this week. They were grinding the whole game. I was able to get over 200 yards, so it was a tough grind for them.
Like everyone else has said, we knew they were good. We knew they were full of Division I transfers. Everyone was very competitive. The high level of intensity just worked out well for us in the end.
Yeah, it was a huge win. Plus, you had to go there as a away game, so they had the crowd on their side. But you guys managed to pull it out. You're on a 4-game winning streak. You haven't lost to a Division II opponent yet. So, what has been the keys to success on both sides of the ball so far this year?
Well, defensively, we've gotten turnovers and we've scored defensively, and that's awesome for us. And we've got a lot of 3-and-outs to get the ball to our offense and put in the hands of Deli, Matei, that make plays. And, if we keep doing that, we can go a long, long way in the season.
And then offensively, guys?
Offensively, yeah, we're able to run the ball this year. We're able to just pound the rock, and then once we can pound the rock, we're able to throw the ball very well too. So we're spreading the wealth all around.
Offensively, we like to say it all starts up front, but we open the holes so he can do it, and we give Mike time to do it, and they're skilled enough to do it and lead us away. So.
Okay, now you guys go to ESU this weekend on Saturday, October 6th for a 1 o'clock game. It's your third straight road game. What do you guys need to do to go up there and make it a 5-game win streak?
We need to go in with the same mentality that we went up to Cal with. Can't look down at ESU at all. And if we do that, we'll be fine. And we got to get turnovers defensively and make plays, and we'll be all right. We'll come out with a W.
We gotta stay focused. We know that we can't sleep on anyone in the PSAC, so we look at every week as a playoff week, and we know that we got to win this if we want to win the PSAC this year.
Okay.
Exactly what everyone else said. We can't look down to anyone. You could say we did that the first game of the season. We kind of underestimated what we were going up against. We can't do that again. We have to keep the foot on the pedal and just keep going through our opponents.
Okay. Now, Anthony, last week we had Mike Labor here, and he talked about how Cal's offensive line was probably the biggest they faced all year. What did you guys do defensively on the defensive line part to counteract that?
We used our speed. With Lou and E on the ends that can move, and me and Dem inside with Cohen. We used our speed, and we're strong up front, and we're pretty big too. But they were huge. It was just basically just like playing Delaware. And, we used our speed and come off and make plays.
Okay. And then for Rondell, you are having a great year. You had a little over 700 yards all of last year, and so far this year you're over 650. What's the big difference from last year to this year?
This year, the offensive line, playing with a lot of heart. They're battling every week. We know that some other teams are going to be bigger than us, but we know that we're better. And this year, definitely, this group of guys is a great group of guys. We've been balling out.
Okay. Now, Erik, you guys, offensive line, you're not known to get much publicity for doing. You just got to go out and do your job. But Matei and Rondell, as he said, have been having great years, and that's attributed to you guys. What have you guys been doing all year that just seems to be keys for so much success?
What we've been talking about is respect. We've had very little respect over the past 2 seasons, and coming into this season, no one gave us any respect. And so we just went week to week saying there's only one way to get respect, and that's to, beat respect into your opponents. Mm-hmm. Make them respect you. Yeah. So that's how we've been going about it week in and week out. We open the holes for Deli. We give Mike the time. We know they're talented enough. They can handle it.
All right. Now, do you guys have anything else you want to say? Last week they made predictions on the game. Do you guys want to make any kind of picks on the game, or do you want to make a shout-out or anything?
We'll win. It's just a
By
matter
how
of
much?
how much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with Anthony on that one.
Yeah, we're going to win.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Good luck on Saturday. Hopefully, we can bring back the W, make it 5 straight wins. But now let's turn our attention to the number 1 ranked field hockey team. We have a few girls here to talk about their success.
Well, thanks, Riley. As well as the football team has been doing, Westchester Field Hockey has been doing even better. We have Kristin Arnold and Carley Buckwalter here to talk about their team. All right, so you guys are coming off a big win against Kutztown. You guys won 5-0, and you're 10-1 overall in the season. How about you guys tell us a little bit about that?
The win was really exciting because we did go into overtime with Kutztown last year. So the fact that we could win 5-1 was a big deal. It shows us how far we've come. We know that we have to play every game to the best of our ability because the PSAC's so competitive. One loss can knock you out of the tournament.
Okay, you guys are 10-1 on the season, so you guys are starting off really well. But you do have one loss. How about you guys tell us a little bit about that one?
I think the losses actually ended up being a good thing for us because it kind of woke us up and showed us what we need, how hard we need to work to get back to that national championship. We did knock Shippensburg out of the NCAA tournament last year, so they wanted that game more than we did, frankly. And it just showed us that we have to come and play our best every day.
Okay, and you guys were just talking about the national championship. Tell us a little about that last year and how exciting it must have been.
Winning a championship, moving into Division II was really exciting, and I feel as though it gave us a lot of heart for this season too. It puts a target on our back, but a good target for other teams to wanting to come play us, and it makes us play our best game every competition.
Okay, and right now you guys are ranked number 1 in the nation. Do you think that's a good thing? Do you like being ranked number 1, or do you think it's kind of a disadvantage because everyone's trying to, knock off the number 1 team?
I think that it's a good thing. Everybody was trying to knock us off anyway, whether we're 1, 2, 3, or have at you, because we did come down from Division I. We are defending national champs, so we worked really hard to get to number 1 last year. We lost it in the beginning of this season and moved back down to 3, and now we're back at 1, and so we're playing to stay there.
Okay, now a really interesting game coming up. You're playing Bloomsburg. Now last year was really tough. You lost to them 2 times in the regular season, but then in the semifinal game of the national tournament, you were able to beat them. So tell us a little about how you guys are preparing for a really tough team like Bloomsburg.
I think we see Bloomsburg a lot, and we're used to them. We play them so many times that at this point I feel like we could do it in our sleep. We just prepare. We work very hard for it. We study their corners, their defensive and offensive corners, but mostly we focus on us because we know if we play our game and our type of hockey that we'll be successful.
Okay, and specific question, you are the goalie,
Yeah.
so I'm watching the game on Wednesday, right, against Kutztown, and you weren't getting that much action. Offense had the ball almost the whole entire game. Do you prefer games like that when you're just sitting back relaxing, or do you like having the ball down there and you able to make the saves? Which one do you prefer?
Absolutely. If I don't have to touch the ball, that's great because that means we're doing a good job and that we're winning the game. I just want my teammates to know that if it comes down to me having to do that I can.
Okay.
So if I don't touch the ball, that's great because that means we're going to win the game.
Okay, so you guys are over halfway through your season. You're playing Bloomsburg, but what other games in the rest of your season do you see being a really big test for you guys?
We have about 6 or 7 more games, and they're actually all PSAC East except for one, which is next Sunday against your Sinus is our senior night game. So if you can make it out, that'd be great for the support. But yeah, the rest of them are all important, and we have to come out with a win.
And you guys mentioned PSAC obviously being a dominant conference. I was looking at the rankings. You guys are number 1, like I said, and a lot of the ones below you are also PSAC teams. So would you consider this conference being the most dominant in Division II?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the PSAC is very competitive and it's very dominant in Division II, and I think that's a good thing for us because we've been challenged all season long, and so when we get to that tournament, we know what that intensity feels like.
Well, we really appreciate you guys coming in. Is there any last words you want to say, shout-outs, anything you want to say to the viewers?
One of our mottos actually before every game, our coach always says, do work, crush dreams, repeat.
Go Rams!
All right, well, thanks again for coming out. Good luck in the rest of your season and tomorrow against Bloomsburg. Hopefully you guys can bring home another national championship. But that's pretty much wrapping up field hockey. Now let's take a look at women's soccer.
Heading into this past weekend, the Lady Rams soccer team had been on fire, winning its first 8 games in a row before heading out to Erie to face both Mercyhurst and Gannon. Friday's game against Mercyhurst featured spectacular play by Marie D'Angelo as she registered 3 of the ladies' 4 goals for the match. Coupling that with an always solid game from the defense and goalie Shannon Feddick, Westchester was able to breeze through a lopsided 4-1 victory. Saturday's match versus 24th-ranked Gannon would be a much tougher test for the Golden Rams. Senior Jen Hutchinson would score in the opening minutes, but headed into halftime, the score was tied at 1 apiece. A 62nd minute goal, which was hit off a Gannon defender, would seal it for Westchester as they escaped out of Gannon with a 2-1 victory. Up next for the women is a showdown with second place PSAC Kutztown set for 1 o'clock on Saturday at Kutztown. But before we finish soccer, guys, with 7 games remaining, what do you think? Do you think that we can come through and be undefeated for the entire season, or do you think they're going to slip up?
To be honest, I think they're going to go through. They have 7 games left, like you said. They're going to slip up through one of those games. I think whenever you have an undefeated team, a little bit of cockiness sets in. So I think it's not going to be Kutztown or a big game, but it's always one of those little games that they seem to, lose one of the games that they should have won. So I see them doing that, maybe 4 games down the road or something like that. But in the end, it's going to be good for them because then they're going to be able to go into playoffs knowing that they can't slack off or anything like that. So I see them having 1 loss at the end of the season, but then it's going to benefit them in the end.
Okay, well, for me, I think they're going to lose 2, but I think the next game against Kutztown, I think that's their toughest game. Again, like I said, they're second in the PSAC, and with sophomore goalie Shannon Feddick playing, no one's perfect, and as great as she's been so far this year, I think she'll let up 1 or 2 uncharacteristically, and they'll actually lose a game. But besides that, again, I think it'll be a good thing at the end, and I think that will help them moving forward.
Well, I'm going a little different way. I'm saying they're going undefeated. They've played most of the top teams in the PSAC so far, and have taken care of all of them. Kutztown, I think they'll get past, and after that, it's mostly lower PSAC teams. And I think at the end, they're just going to take care of business.
All right, guys, well, it's time for Outside the Horns, and it's the end of the regular season for baseball, so it's playoff time. What are your guys' playoff predictions?
Well, for me, guys, I'm a little sad that the Phillies aren't in it this year. They're usually always in it, and this year they're not. But I'm going to go a team right by them. I'm going to go with the Nationals. Now, they're in our division, and Stroudsburg's out for the rest of the year. But behind young pitchers like Gio Gonzalez and Jordan Zimmerman, and with some young hitters like Bryce Harper, among others, I think they're really going to play well, and I think they're actually going to surprise some teams to make it. But on the AL side, I'm going to have to go with the Orioles. Now, I know that's a bold pick, and I know they are not even technically in the playoffs yet. They still have to play a 1-game playoff. But overall, I think they have the heart. I don't even know a lot of their pitchers. I don't know who they are, but they've been having great seasons. And behind Adam Jones and others, I think they're going to come through with a victory. And I think they're actually going to make it and win it all in 6 games.
6 games.
Yeah,
okay.
Very bold.
All right, well, I agree with you a little bit. I think the Nationals are going to surprise a lot of people. A really young team, have a lot of talent. Like you said, unfortunately, they lost Stroudsburg, but I think they're going to get past that, and they're going to make it into the World Series. On the AL side, I think the Tigers are just the most dominant team. They have a Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera, and with someone like that on your team, it just really helps, especially in the playoffs, to have that confidence, that someone's going to be able to get the job done like he has the entire year. So in the end, I think it's going to be Nationals and Tigers, and I'm going to say the Tigers are going to win it in 6.
All right, well, I'm going a little different. I'm going to go with the underdog in the AL. Not as much of an underdog as Orioles, but the Athletics. I mean, they're hot right now. They've won their last 7 games. They snuck up on, I think they're sneaking up on everybody. They beat the Rangers. Everyone expected the Rangers to have this division hand. I think they're just peaking at the right time. I think they're gonna take care of like the Yankees, Rangers, whoever they have to face. I think they're gonna keep on rolling all the way to the World Series. Now in the NL, I like the Reds. I think they got a good mix of hitting with Jay Bruce and Joey Votto. With the pitching, their pitching's been unbelievable. We got Cueto and Bronson Arroyo. So I really like how they're playing right now. So I have them in the NL, and I have them ultimately beating the Athletics in 6 games.
Well, talking about the MLB playoffs, that's going to be our poll question. Who's going to win the World Series? So remember to go on our website, sportstalklive.net, and cast your vote. But that's all the time we have for this week on Sports Talk Live. Be sure to visit us next week. Same time, same place. Take it easy, Westchester.